This symposium is about the future, discussing the past, but it's about the future and the direction you want to go in. Football is a game of constant changing direction. I thought to myself, isn't that life? Isn't exactly what you're dealing with in your business, and isn't that life? Aren't we constantly in a changing environment right now? Change is something we all need to deal with, from time in our own personal life, in our own business life, certainly in the world of athletics. We've seen 98% of the people in this world today refuse to take a pen in hand and write down a goal. Why would you do this? You're the greatest that ever played the game. You've got rings, you've made money, you're going to the Hall of Fame. Why? You know what he said to me? He said, Joe, they wanted me to miss a day of work. Tom Watson, the founder of IBM, once said this: you work the first 8 hours of the day for survival. Everything after that is an investment in your future. Reliable, accountable, available. They're members of the able family. So I look for character, I look for intellect, and I look for ability. Are you making someone that you work with better at what they do? Teach the man behind you to take your job.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Pam. I appreciate those kind words so much. And ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a pleasure to be able to spend some time with you this evening, albeit such a short time because my car is frozen somewhere outside. When I was invited here to Regina, I thought I was coming to Canada. I didn't realize I was traveling to Siberia. I go back to my college career where things really started to change in my life. And I'm introduced, and Pam, thank you so much for introducing me as Joe Theismann, and I appreciate that. But I'm actually not Joe Theismann. I'm actually Joe Theismann from South River, New Jersey. See, my name was changed when I went to college. Beginning of my senior year, our sports information, Roger Valdesari, called me in the office. He said, Joe, how do you pronounce your last name? I said, it's Theismann. He said, no, it's not. It's Theismann. I said, no, it's not. It's Theismann. He said, no, it's not. It's Theismann. I said, give me the phone. Picked up the phone, called my dad back home in Jersey. Anytime I ever had a question for my father, he'd always say, fire away, Joey. So I dialed my dad up on the phone. I said, Pop, got this question for you. He says, fire away, Joe. I said, Dad, tell me, how do you pronounce our last name? Dead silence on the phone. About 30 seconds goes by, my dad comes on. He says, son, you really do have a problem, don't you? So you're a senior in college. You don't know who you are. What have you been doing for the last 3 years? I said, Dad, please just tell me, how do you pronounce our last name? He said, it's Theismann. I said, I'll explain later. Hung the phone up. Turned to Mr. Valdesari. I said, Roger, look, my last name is Theismann. I know. I just got the phone with my dad. He said, Joe, I want to tell you something. There's a trophy out there called the Theismann Trophy. It goes to the best college football player in the country. We think you have a chance to win that trophy, but we're not just going to count on your athletic ability. Heck no. We're not even going to count on the reputation of the University of Notre Dame, but we think by just simply changing the pronunciation of your last name from Theismann to Theismann to rhyme with Heisman, we can guarantee you that trophy. That's how I wound up becoming Joe Theismann. And it's funny how the changes occur in our lives. 5 years after that, I'm having dinner with my mother and father. Turned to my dad over at the dinner table and said, Pop, got a question for you. In his own inimitable way, my father says, fire away, Joey. I said, Dad, tell me, how do you pronounce our last name? He studied me for a second. He said, it's Theismann. Why are you asking? So the changes that occur in our lives, we need to open our arms and embrace.